He freezes, waiting on your next word.
Let's say I'd rather not fight then. What's your business down here? Your timing ain't the best, but I'm sure Zarys won't turn down a deal. Down you go then. Entrance is hidden behind the wardrobe. Here's the key.
That's far enough. What's your business down here? Answer honestly and maybe we'll kill you clean. Then your answer decides his fate as well as your own. So make it good. Trade with what? Your life was ours the moment you walked in here, but maybe I'll let you buy it back. I have a job needs doing. We've disarmed the traps. Come down.
You don't want to keep Zarys waiting.
Not many can talk their way into a Zhentarim outpost. I could use someone with your skills. Interested in a job? We're the finest mercenaries on the coast. We can provide you with anything. For a price. If you've got coin to spend and problems to solve, the Zhent will relieve you of both. But today I'm offering work. Not looking for it. Some of our people are missing. More importantly, so is their cargo. Find them. Keep them alive if you can. Failing that, just bring that shipment back. Unopened. God damn it! What about the shipment? Good. Reckon you won't find it here, though?
Look, there's no need for this. Free me now, and I'll see that my patron rewards you. I need only tell her it's a gambling debt. It's happened before.
Pick up the pace! You've already brought me bad news. Tell me you've got something better this time. Bashaba's black bones, you did it! And still sealed. You're a goddamn wonder. Here's your coin. Actual professionals are rare. You ever want more work? Come and see me in the gate. Our trader can show you some of our more exotic items now. But don't delay. This place is likely to be rubble soon. Someone kidnapped a Duke. Right on our bloody doorstep. The Flaming Fist will need someone to blame. I don't plan on it being us. Strip this place bare!
Did that artist really paint all those things?
Says he did, yeah.
Why?
Says his muse made him do it.
Who's that then?
God's little brother. Read a bleeding book.
I'll take that. Something's on my mind.
Are we unpacking?
You're a friend of the Zhent now. Assuming we make it back then. dragon rider. My kin are near.
Damn thing that blot out the sun.
Drop your weapons!
I'll feed your innards to the ants before I do that. At Istik.
This is your last chance!
No, look up. That was your last chance, Istik. Now burn!
Stop wasting time, Beretta. You're not here to play with the locals.
Of course, Kithrak. We merely sought to...
No excuses. Question, kill, then move on. Find the weapon. Our queen watches us. Fail her at your peril.
A red dragon. I envy its knight. Would that I rode such a steed. A crash must be near. Come, my kin await. Nonsense. They will lead us to the cure we seek.
Kithrak, we must speak. My face protects me.
Never wanted the easy path.
It is not your time to speak.
Ryder, my time is short. Lead me to...
Shh, shh, shh. Such a familiar tone. Were I not merciful, I would slice the skin clean from your meat. Yet you are not bleeding. For I am nothing if not merciful. Your name, child.
Lae'zel.
Lae'zel. Proud. Regal, even. You will call me Gestil Kithrak.
Voss, Knight Supreme. The Queen's silver, the Queen's sword.
I am who you say. A Geich vessel has fallen from the sky, Lae'zel. Thieves aboard have taken a weapon most precious. It is polyhedric in shape and inscribed with the sacred runes of our people.
You feel Shadowheart's anxiety. The weapon that Voss seeks is the same one the Absolute's followers are hunting. It's the artifact that she carries. Her mind focuses. The Gith's suspicions cannot be aroused. They cannot discover that the weapon they seek is right within their grasp.
Take word to your creche. You are to join our search. Speak up, child. Affirm your mandate.
You honor me with this duty, Kithrak. I shall alert my caretaker with haste. The Kithrak nods, content with Lae'zel's answer.
You serve your queen well, child. Take your slaves and hunt those who escaped the Geich ship. They must carry the weapon. I fly now to Vlaakith, our undying queen. She will see your faith rewarded in this plane and ours.
A current of deception carries Voss's words. Wherever he flies, it is not to Vlaakith.
To Danos! To the sky!
Damn it all! You did well to intervene, vexed as I am to admit it. The Gestil Kithrak would have flayed our skin and left our carcasses to burn in the sun. All for the sake of the artifact that we carry. The crash is near, this much we know. We follow the path forward and into the valley.
No one, not even the ignoble Gestil Kithrak, will keep me from my purification.
Traps, please. Better not be cursed.
Road
Looks like that
closed.
dragon
Detour
destroyed the
ahead.
road.
Why?
Look at these gouges. Tore through rock like it was butter.
Perhaps it's some artist trying to make us.
Not only fear, the fear of cow.
Nothing left. You're both this close to getting a slap.
Enough! We know you have her.
Please, we just want Mayrina back.
I have something to ask.
Lads, for the love of all that is holy, I've never clapped eyes on your poor sister.
Drop the act, hag. You was the last to see Mayrina.
Just let her go. Please.
You there? Please, I don't know what's come over these boys. I just want to go home.
The old woman's face creases with false concern. You realize she's lying about seeing this girl, Mayrina.
Stop this! We won't ask again!
Careful! Don't trust a word out of her mouth. Our sister went to the hag, and we ain't seen her since.
Hand over heart, I don't know their sister. I will gladly help you all look for her, though.
Enough! Where is she?
Bollocks! You were supposed to rush to my defense, love. Fat lot of good you are. Some advice? You ever darken my door, you'd best have that head bowed and an apology at the ready. Bye-bye now.
Bloody hells. She just disappeared. Ain't seen nothing like that before.
She could shoot fireworks out of her backside for all I care. The hag has Rena!
It's our sister, Mayrina. She's... well... she was in a bad way after her husband died.
Started saying weird things, like how she was gonna bring him back.
Next thing, she's gone looking for the hag. Of all the stupid things to do. And we haven't seen her since. And no good ever came from dealing with a hag.
None of this matters, all right? We need to get her back, and fast! Are you joking? I ain't got a clue who you are. No way I'm leaving Rena to you.
But, Joel...
Not a chance. We're getting her back on our own. Now, come on.
Something bit me.
Just an insect. I'm sure you'll survive. Besides, It probably figured you for a tasty treat.
Give me an aboleth over a midge any day.
A chill runs up your spine. You feel like you're being watched. You blink and the wilderness changes. A swamp, stinking and insidious, assaults your senses.
I'm exhausted. Better find somewhere to camp soon.
Contraption's a hot ticket item. Might not be our last scrap for its sake. Old Rusty? Sure. The year, 10 air. The place, sleepy little town called Baldur's Gate. Our hero, Karlach, a knock-knee delinquent from the outer city, with everything to give and nothing to lose. I was a kid looking for a way to fill my days and make some cash when I fell into the wrong crowd. Worked for a guy I respected. A lot. Turns out the feeling wasn't mutual. Through the jigs and the reels, he made a deal with Zariel behind my back. You know Zariel, right? Archdevil of Avernus. She put this thing in my chest and set me to work. Well, to war. I learned quick how to stay alive. And the engine served me when it came to killing devils. 10 years of that. The stories I could tell. Guy named Gortash. Politician. Inventor. One of these wheeler-dealer types who seems to have a finger in every pie. I guess I was naive to think everything he got up to was above board. What did I know? I saw a job. A good job. With people I liked. Doing work I was good at. Sometimes I'm jealous of that girl. Oh, to feel so invincible again. Depends on the type. Ice devils hate an inferno, but that's an easy one. Orthons love projectiles. What they don't love is getting their bombs lobbed right back in their faces. Demons, on the other hand, every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about? First things first, I need to get this engine tuned up. Thing's powerful, but it's been feeling volatile ever since I left the Hells. Can't be too hard to find an infernal mechanic round here, right? Funny you should ask. I was just thinking about what would have become of us without that Nautiloid. I mean, I know where I'd be. Trapped in Avernus still, with the Blade of Frontiers on my tail. But what about you? I can picture you getting mixed up in some outrageous shit. Giants, beholders, Thayans, the works. Maybe once we've wrapped up the current shenanigans, we'll rest a bit and find some new heap of troubles to throw ourselves at.
Just what I need.
Githyanki patrolling these wilds is an unexpected surprise. Whatever they seek, they'll not hesitate to kill us if we stand in their way. Your enterprising approach to my problem is most encouraging. But it is a delicate process to keep my condition stable. I do not yet need to consume an item, but keep it close by. It will not be too much longer. Think of it as tribute. The kind a king might pay to a more powerful neighbor to avoid invasion. As long as I pay, there will be peace. But should I ever stop, along comes a war. I can assure you, the battlefield would extend well beyond the borders of my body alone. I've had a pupil or two, but never for very long. Their ineptitudes tend to irk me. You do seem to be a precocious talent, though. I can always tell when I meet a keen mind, receptive to Mystra. Keep it up, and she might just take a personal interest in you one of these days. We all have our burdens, one way or the other. There's room for adventure, but no room for me, it seems.
brows furrow as your minds connect. He sees the burning embers of Joaquin's rest, then Floric's face as she tells you of Ravengard's abduction.
Hells! Older Ravengard's been taken. If Floric says he lives, then he lives. And we need to free him from his captors. You see, Grand Duke Ravengard is my father. I know I haven't said. Our relation was no matter of pride, not least for him. Thank you. That means a lot. But I wonder, what makes a Duke of Baldur's Gate so interesting to the Drow? Even the houses of Menzo Baranzan would have little use for my father. No, this is no Drow plot. These absolute nutters, these true souls are behind his abduction. His absence alone will sow chaos in the city. If they were to infect him, he could lead Baldur's Gate to ruin. All the more reason to find him. The Absolute has seized not just my father, but the future of the Sword Coast. know. And you're right. When I look into a mirror, I see two faces. I see the Blade of Frontiers, a man hunting the fiends who prey on the weak and claw at the coast. And I see Will Ravengard, a memory of a memory. A man who belongs to the past. I wanted you to know the Blade, not the shadow he left behind. I'm all for it. He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. Not so enchanting as you'd think. The Portiers, the Caldwells, they were the blue bloods hosting the fancy balls and drinking from gold goblets. Father's the son of a blacksmith, born with barely a coin in the coffers. He made a name for himself among the Flaming Fist, brave as Balduran, stubborn as a deep Rothay, daring, outspoken, but hardly posh. I spent more time dueling with Father than I did rubbing elbows with lords. Not to say I didn't develop a taste for good wine and the talent for courtly dance. Yes and no. Father taught me the 4 pillars of power. Courage, insight, strategy, justice. He reckoned I'd follow in his footsteps. First as a fist marshal, then as a duke. Vanquish evil, maintain order, save the world. But a duke makes bedfellows with more monsters than he slays. Father called it diplomacy. I called it hypocrisy. In the frontiers, there is no posturing, no diplomacy. I slay monsters. I don't consort with them. No. Not when I can avoid it. My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. After my exile, I was hunting near the Cloakwood. I heard a child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. Proud? No. Angry. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at the so-called good gods for tolerating the cruelty of the evil. Angry at myself that it took so long for me to see the coast suffering. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded. And it's nice to meet someone of your talents. Having a worm wriggling in my skull didn't instill much confidence in the days ahead. With you as my ally, the future looks a little less daunting. A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
tiny grooves spider across the eye's surface. It resembles a sending stone, used to confer with distant contacts.
A sending stone? Nothing so special, I assure you.
His breathing quickens, his jaw tenses. Will is keeping something from you.
What are you?
A shadow swims across your vision, and a familiar voice tells you to be calm. You are loved. Your right eye vibrates, and a woman's voice echoes in your head. I've a sweet tooth, and devils on the menu. Beyond the voice you find only shadow. A piece of Will's mind locked away from intruders.
Keep out of my mind. I told you, the eye's a rock, nothing more. And that's the end of it.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. You only have a matter of...
Oakfather's blessings to you. I've inspected a tadpole up close and seen the effects of them on the absolute so-called true souls. Powerful, certainly, but clearly arrested by magic, too. The question I just can't answer is, who has done this? And why? There'll be no firm answers until Moonrise Towers, I fear. Hopefully. I've chosen a successor as first druid, Francesca of the High Forest. I sent a bird to summon her. Precisely. Who indeed? You do not know, and neither do any of the others. The Grove needs to move beyond the mistakes of the past. What it needs is an unknown quantity. An outsider who can enforce the Oakfather's teachings without bias. This is why I chose Francesca. She will restore simplicity and purity to the Grove in my absence. Contrary to how some think of us, we druids can play politics when necessary. It's had the whole region around Moonrise Towers in a chokehold of darkness and despair for years now. Those who remained are shadow-cast. If you don't die at their hands, then you become one of them. We have to get to Moonrise. But the less time we spend in its blighted surrounds, the better. Let's see what this does.
Hellsfire. She's coming.
Will, you've been naughty. And you know what happens when you're naughty.
Gods damn it. Anyone but her.
Will, you absolute stinker. You kept me a secret? Time to let the Hellcat out of the bag. Call me Mizora. I'm Will's patron, the fount of his power. My pet's been unruly, and his leash needs a yank. We had a deal, Will. But Karlak's still breathing.
I've taken more pleasant shits than you, Mizora. And at least those can be buried after.
That's no kind of talk for a lady. By the way, Karlak, Zariel sends her regards.
You told me! Devils only! She's a tiefling, not a monster!
How precious. The little pupster's found his bark.
Clause G, Section 9. Target shall be limited to the infernal, the demonic, the heartless, and the soulless.
Karlach meets the criteria by virtue of having no heart. He's the Blade of Frontiers. Devil's plaything, just doesn't have the same ring. Speaking of...
Will burns in the fires of Avernus. The lightning storms of Dis strike his flesh. His soul passes through each layer of the hells, gaining their essence and their torment.
That's better.
What the hells have you done?
A promise broken, a price paid. You know the terms.
Get used to the new form, pet.
There's no going back. Some magic even I can't undo.
Now, let's see how the frontiers fare without their precious blade.
Karlach, keep an eye on him, would you? I'll be keeping mine on you. Oh, and Will, don't forget, our pact still stands. Ta-ta.
I'll be honest, soldier. I'm reeling. Will hardly knows me, but he chose my life over his. Been a long time since someone stuck their neck out for me like that. You can say that again. When he was chasing me through Avernus, I thought he was just another sad merc. How wrong I was.
Gods damn her, straight back to the hells. Just look at me. I did what was right, and Mazora made me pay for it. I'd be hunting devils and demons, she said. Traitors and hypocrites, heartless evils of all sorts, but not Zariel's victims. Not innocent tieflings.
Warlock pacts tend to be unforgiving from what you know of them. Will was lucky he didn't face a more severe punishment.
I deserve that. Consider me properly shamed. It's Mazora who grants me the power to conjure armor and cast eldritch blasts. Before I was infected, I could even call hell beasts and summon festering clouds, but I promise you, every thrust of my blade and every flame I sparked was for the good of the coast. I can't utter the terms or circumstances of the pact. I can tell you most all else, but the pact, I'm forbidden, unless Mazora permits it. But I'll say this. The moment I pacted myself to Mazora, I have not regretted for a heartbeat. It was my proudest deed. It was worth the sacrifice. All I can give you on that is my solemn word.
Speak, quickly. It is a certainty. I had assumed our parasites served a Geich elder, but I believe they serve a greater master still. A question that burns in my belly day and night. Elders and collectives abide by their own tenets. It would require a powerful creed to unite them. And now this voice, this creed, finds our own ears. If it reaches this plane, it may reach others. So I did, and he served his use. Most enthusiastically, I might add. I may even avail myself of his talents again,
should he keep his fangs off my flesh. I have a confession. I was too hasty to judge you. I thought you witless, gutless, unimpressively bland. Now, well, you've earned my respect and more still. You've proven your wits. You are efficient and dominant, in and out of battle. You've proven your courage. I swear you would tear the horns off one dragon to plunge into another. And you're hardly bland. Your scent alone is enough to make my neck sweat and my hairs stand on end. If you must know, Vlaakith requires everything of her children. I can't count how many bruises I've inflicted. Can't measure how much blood I've drawn in the undying Queen's name. I know only blood red and death black. My mind is silver, and my body steel. I am what I must be. Say what I must be. To survive every beast I face and every wound I bear. Bah, enough talk. I will be plain. I want to taste you. Perhaps tonight, perhaps later. But I want it all the same. Do you? I won't be your girlfriend, but I will be your lay. Yes or no? Your loss. One day soon, you will wonder how my lips might have tasted, how my fingers on your skin might have felt, and you will wish you could return to this lost moment.
You recognize the feathered creature. It's the owlbear cub you rescued. The cub tilts his head. He does not trust you. Yet. The cub's eyes lock onto the food in your hand. The creature gulps the food down. It seems he hasn't eaten in some time. With a hungry chirp, he steps forward. He wants more.
Careful. Once that thing's eaten through the camp, it might start looking at you hungrily.
Alarmed by your companion's approach, the cub flees into the forest.
I'm not chasing after it, if that's what you're thinking.
I don't want a crumb left on that plate, girl.
Auntie Ethel, please. One more bite and this pie is gonna come back up to say hello.
Don't make me get the wooden spoon. You're eating for two, so get to it. If it isn't the cheekiest pup of them all. You best have one hells of an apology for me, young man. Oh, the wizard thinks he's smart because he can read. How precious. You know, I was gonna give you a swift kick up the arse and show you the door. But I think you and I could have a bit of fun together. Gods grant me patience. Eat up, Mayrina. I won't say it again. Watch that tone, sweetie. You want to be in my good books. Trust me. That wriggler in your head isn't going to get its damn self out, is it? Busybodies are not appreciated around here.
Must you stick out your neck for every dimwit in distress?
I'll talk about your wriggler, and that's it. Last warning. You want to play the hero so badly? Fine. Let's make this interesting.
Victory awaits.
Gods, it's hot in here.
So much for peace.
Bye-bye, lovelies.
Hag can't have gone far. One day I'll catch a break. More for me.
All's well, I hope. No. I just wanted to see how you felt after the night we spent together. When we talked and kissed. I hope so too. Though I'm not sure what kind of courtship will be afforded, given all that we're facing. But if you want to see where this goes, I do as well.
Open up.
Look, I can't.
You are as thick as they come, sweetness. This is my personal playhouse, and you don't have an invite. Get out! Oh, the cocky ones are my favorite to chew on. Keep going, Petal, and you'll find out.
Stop! Please! Please!
What is this place?
What?
You feel crushing waves of fear as the presence within the door recoils. It can't let people through, not again. Images flash. A man cowering, a bag open at his feet. Gold coins spilling onto the floor. His cries for mercy are cut short as the hag slices into him, dismembering him painstakingly, limb by limb. She cackles, the man's remaining flesh twisted and contorted, becoming the twisted surface of the door before you. Flee, you feel it cry. A scene appears in your mind. 2 paladins and a cleric marching through the door, shrouded in the glow of the divine. Weapons brandished, they charge into the hag's lair. Screams of terror pierce the air.
You let them in? Naughty. That's a decade for each. You're mine for 30 more years, Petal.
The door twitches, but stays firm. Its form flickers, and you realize that the door is transparent. You see the hag, eyes bright with glee, as she's with a jerk, you're pulled from the vision.
Don't!
Taking position.
Heading out.
I won't do it!
helped.
Whatever it takes.
Enough time wasted. Battle awaits.
What's next, I wonder? Have to keep pushing.
No time to rest. Please do, sister.
On my way.
There! In the cage!
Easy. This place is hungry for blood.
Watch how you go.
You come to my home, interfere in my business, and now have the gall to face me in the heart of my lair? You petulant bollocks! I'll rip your spine out your asshole! I'll use your blood to spice my stew! I'll keep you alive until I've sucked the marrow from your bones. And then I'll bring you back and do it all over. Just now! You want the girl so bad. Fine.
The cage is going to drop. We've got to help her.
Focus.
Bloody clever clogs!
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
lunatic! Killing me is a waste of time. I'll find a way to return. Always have, always will. But it's unpleasant. So how about we be civilized about this, hmm? I have something you want. But she's worthless to you. Let me leave with the girl, and I'll give you power. You want to be stronger, tougher, smarter? Done! Anything is possible. Just let me keep the girl and her babe.
If her powers were worth anything, we wouldn't have beaten her. Finish this.
It's your choice, sweetness. You greedy little ballocks. Fine. Here. I'll not soon forget this sweetness. You have my word.
But the deal? What about my husband? What happens to him?
Deal's off, you dumb cow. And you've her to thank for it. Not that it matters. I'll find another just as plump and ripe. I can set up shop elsewhere. People always need lotions and potions. If I ever see you again, you'll have a tentacle for a tongue. Bye-bye, Petal.
Never a dull moment. It's been a long day. I'll need to rest soon. Should mind my step.
You bastard! You ruined it! You ruined everything! You want thanks? A slap is all you deserve. Ethel was going to bring my husband back. Back from the dead. And now I'll never see him again. Because of you! She would have. I had everything figured out. Just a bit longer and my child would have been born. And all this would have been over. This was the best chance I had. For me and my baby. Auntie Ethel promised to give this child a good life. Teach them magic, even. More than I could have done. Well, I didn't bloody ask you, did I? I didn't ask for any of this. I just wanted Connor back. Now I have to drag his corpse back home, coffin and all, because a goddamn grave is the closest I'll get to seeing him again. I hope you're happy.
wish I had a bag of holding. What's inside? I'll give it a shot.
Gods! Didn't hear you coming. I know I should head home, but I can't bring myself to leave. The thought of putting him in a wheelbarrow and making the journey all over again. We were just kids when we met. I might have pushed him off a swing I wanted. He got right up and pushed me back. I was so surprised that I just laughed. He did too. We've barely spent a day apart since. What? You can?
You feel a surge of power from the wand. The air suddenly tastes acrid. It wants to be you.
Bring him back! Bring Connor back! What? What have you done to him? Oh, this isn't what she promised! I wanted him back! Back the way he was! Not this! You bastard! I thought you were going to help!
Perhaps using...
Falling to pieces. Where does occupiers go?
This looks like it's been abandoned. Hey, you've got a deal.
What the hell are you doing? Get out!
Halfway.
I've got it.
Victory awaits.
put this behind us. Far behind us.
With haste.
A feast fit for an ogre. You notice a peculiar dagger protruding from the tough, leathery meat. You notice the blade is at an angle to the meat's grain. If you align the dagger with the grain, it should slip out easily. Thanks to your keen eye, the dagger glides smoothly out of the mystery meat. Mystery meat, tough as boar hide. Only the sharpest teeth could pierce it.
Enough waiting. I crave blood. Show me mercy.
All right, what now? Best be on my way.
Open up. On forever, pal. Down the hatch.
You look good with a few arrows sticking out of your guts! Gonna add your ears to my collection, dead?
Shouldn't have made me your enemy.
Put him on.
On the move.
Never a dull moment. Don't waste a step.
Taking position. All right, Karlak. It's go time. Covered.
path lies before me.
You carry a Githyanki relic. I will have an explanation. Or your head.
Walk away. Now. I won't warn you again. Lae'zel thinks I have something important to her people. She's deluded, clear.
Lies. She carries an heirloom of my people. I must know why.
You hear that, Lae'zel? It's called common sense.
You seek reason in dishonor. Incorrect. Judicious bloodletting settles feuds and roots out the weak, the deceitful.
Do you hear this, tribe? Our lives are at stake, and she wants us to turn on each other.
No others. Just you and me.
I doubt this one's wits will be any sharper by then.
I do not wish to spill blood here. Come daylight, we will find a place to end this.
Fine. You can accept you're wrong, or we'll be rid of you permanently. Either way, I win. You had every chance to look the other way. But here we are. You chose this.
Spare me the justifications, coward!
If anyone asks, I'll say you were transforming. Don't expect to be mourned. She's a liability. It's the artifact we need, not her.
Let me up, and I'll show you.
Can I do that, Lae'zel? Can I turn my back on you?
Never. Thieves aren't afforded such luxury.
Loosen the grip on your pride for one blasted moment, won't you? We needn't be enemies. There's plenty of those to go around already.
What would you have? That we be friends?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But imagine what we might achieve if we channeled some of that hostility back at our real foes, instead of each other. They wouldn't stand a chance.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
Oh, I really thought Shadowheart and Lae'zel might fight to the death over that artifact. A pity. It would have made for a fine night's entertainment. I won't lie. It's tempting. If I keep the tadpole, I risk transforming into a grotesque monster. If I lose the tadpole, Cazador has control of me, body and soul, and I return to the shadows. It's grim either way. So why not sell what's left of my soul to a devil? Better he has it than Khazador. Figuring out what's happening to us, confronting a god called the Absolute, and then finding time to kill my old master before he can control me once more? Yes, that's an option, but I wouldn't bet eternity on it.
Speak. I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less. It is over where I am concerned. It is through conflict that we strengthen our bonds. Yet I do not recommend Shadowheart seek it again. The next resolution may not end in her favor. Yes, in great detail. It starts with a fever and memory loss. Then you start to hallucinate. Your hair falls out, and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore, and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a Mind Flayer is born. Words forged in steel. May your actions express the same metal. We must find my kind and be rid of the parasite. It's as simple as that. The first symptoms should have long since started, though. That is what puzzles me. Yes, if you give it no further thought. But anomalies lead to surprises. Bad surprises. Besides, what hasn't happened may yet come to pass. Mark my words, this power would be no blessing, but a curse. You might as well ask me to gouge out my eyes for the promise of sight, or slice off my tongue for the promise of taste. Consume all the gate tadpoles you wish. I'm not so craven. And when the tadpole has stretched to every pore and it won't, my faith in Vlaakith will guide me, and my own...
Very glad Shadowheart and Lae'zel settled things without letting any blood. I would have enjoyed the spectacle, but not losing either one of those lunatics. We were both part of Zariel's inner circle. Her by choice, me by force. In the grand scheme of things, I'm inconsequential to Zariel. Sure, I've got the engine, but I wasn't even her strongest fighter. She favored me like a child favors a captive pet. Mizora envied the attention, I suppose. I'm sure when Zariel gave her the order to hunt me down, Mizora was delighted. I don't know. You'd think she'd have more important things to do. Devils and their pride. No kidding. The fighting, the chaos, the betrayal. It had the makings of a good stage show, but I did not want to be one of the players. It wasn't all that long ago. I never knew the whole of how and why, but I remember the devils slavering with delight. I should have looked after the Elterans more. Gone out of my way to make sure they were all right. The long and short of it was, I didn't want to risk my neck. I let them get on with the nightmare, same as I had to. But Avernus is no place for decent folk. I'm glad they got out. So glad.
Say one thing for our troop. We're not short on drama. I'm glad Shadowheart and Lae'zel settled their differences peacefully. Eventually. That is most gratifying to hear. May I? I will consume the magic, but it will save my life. Even if only temporarily. Thank you.
Good gods. It hardly has any effect. Oh, Mystra, have mercy on us all. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent. I might just be about to remedy that. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy. And from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it. Much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself. The Lady of Mysteries. The goddess Mystra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time she became my muse. And later even my lover. It's fair to say her intimacy is not easily won. Nevertheless, I did. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mystra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross, yet every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries. Perhaps. But enticements beyond the perimeters of mortality are powerful motivators. I tried to convince her. I pouted. I pleaded. Swore my ambition was only to serve her better. She only smiled and told me to be contented. Inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale? Very well. Here goes. Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. He almost managed, but not quite. His entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. Roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured and shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms. Until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? I don't discredit my reasoning. Alas, that my execution was rather less sound. I was certain that this deed of raw power draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you in. Into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. Bound, and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. We might chance upon a king's collection of magical artifacts around the corner. We might cross paths with a miracle round the bend. Then again, we might not. All of this. It must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways. That is a great relief. Oh, a great... You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand up now.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
Rotating plates. Symbols. Right. Clear as mud.
far down. We'll have to go in to see the bottom.
So, have we buried the hatchet, Lae'zel?
No. Why would I bury a weapon? Is it broken?
It's a metaphor.
I do not know your metaphor, but if you need help digging, I will find a shovel.
Get back.
Rather than a pit of spikes, credit where it's due.
I've been watching you fight, Shadowheart. Your skills are improving.
My skills were just fine to begin with. You can save the compliments.
I don't pay compliments. I make observations.
Looking ahead. Here we go. Light on my feet. Don't mind if I do. No one's stopped me yet. Something good here, I hope. These fungal spores are everywhere.
Gods, what's happening?
More are coming.
That voice. What was that?
They're coming. They're coming.
Control your thoughts. It seems I'm not the only one listening.
They're coming. You're coming.
Time to press ahead.
Slender drow blade impales the stone before you, keeping a silent vigil. This blade was a warrior's sacrifice to Stray. Blood can only be honored with blood. The drow script inscribed on the blade flickers and glows. It rises from the stone, hanging in the air in silent offering.
Still alive, so that's progress. Don't waste a step.
Get back.
Assume nothing. More effort than a bit of space. Credit where it's due.
Anything of use?
I've been watching you fight, Shadowheart. Your skills are improving. Spores, and they're everywhere.
What's happening?
Slender drow blade impales the stone before you, keeping a silent vigil. This blade was a warrior's sacrifice. The
mercy. Tim asks, known to cause confusion. Let's not get too close. That will fit my back.
Let's get on with it.
Eager for battle.
No time to waste. Finish this.
Poor fucker.
I will not know failure.
Better than nothing. Still breathing, despite everything.
The traitor Kithrak takes great interest in this relic of yours, Shadowheart. Or should I...
If not over, then through.
Action, not reaction.
More are.
What?
They're coming. They're
This might be some
there.
Attacker.
Let's get going. Timask and torch stalks. Hell of a combination. Get confused by one, blown up by the other.
To battle.
Let's move.
beautiful. Lethal. The Underdark is everything I thought it'd be.
And I.
Blood has been spilled on holy earth. The creature demands you answer for it. The Myconid calms.
At the ready.
You are swallowed by a chorus of turbulent music. Through one creature sing many voices, the harmony of an entire collective.
Sovereign, she has come. She is here.
The choir fades. A single melody rises above the others, brassy and commanding.
I am sovereign.
You see a vision. Your lifeless body wrapped in fungal tendrils. The Sovereign is threatening you.
State your purpose.
You detect a distinct quiver in every note. These creatures have experienced recent tragedy. Fungal roots weave through your mind, seeking your true intent. Then the Sovereign drones a new melody, cautious but welcoming.
Descend to me. Let us speak in flesh.
The persistent music coaxes you forward. The Sovereign expects you.
What's in here? Moving in.
Might be enough to cover rent.
Fleshwalker. Tongue talker. Far you've come. Reach into memory. Tell me of home.
The creature cringes, overwhelmed by the throngs. It reveals its own home in reply. A humid cove filled with decaying myconid corpses.
Dwegar destroyed my people. I am a sovereign with no circle. I do not belong here. I am not welcomed here.
I need a quick word.
Seems the shrooms are letting in more people every day. You see a fella on his own on your way in. Dwarf. Balin's his name. Right now. Waiting for that idiot Balin's return. Unless you've seen him, we don't have much to discuss. Like I told you already, I'm waiting for that lummox Balin. The rest is my own business. Bald, blue tunic, dumb as a stick. Right. Never mind. Knock yourself out. But don't come begging for You try to ransom him to me. You'll find yourself skint and stuck with a fat old lout. My useless husband. Sent him for an errand. It's no surprise he's made a mess of it.
Keeping the old turnip.
Ripple bark could sustain an entire village if seeded properly. Ah, a visitor. You're a welcome sight. But let us observe the customs of the locals.
The scholar's brow tenses. His voice spills into your skull, the spores connecting mind to mind.
Blurg, proud member of the Society of Brilliance, at your service. Or perhaps not. Your mind is far more complex than that of the fungi. Understandable. We are small in number and rarely stay in one place for long. My colleagues and I are working to improve conditions in the Underdark. This need not be such a dire, hostile place. It's curious to find a surface dweller here. What has brought you down so deep? Truly remarkable. But why come to the Underdark, where they hold so much power? You were infected by an illithid tadpole? It's a miracle you're still intact. You must be worried sick, but have no fear. I have a friend who may be able to assist. Omelium!
I hope this is important, Blurg. My Zerkwood samples need constant attention.
It is. This adventurer has an illithid tadpole inside his head, but he hasn't turned.
No ceremorphosis? That's impossible, but intriguing. Are you looking to have it extracted?
Geich, your head will make a fine trophy for my queen.
Please hold. I understand your rage against my kin. One of my brethren forced a tadpole into your eye. Or ear, perhaps? But I assure you, I stand with the Society of Brilliance, not the colonies of my people.
Fool! They infest your head and invade your dreams, and still you would parley.
I ask only that you refrain from violence. I respect that your opinion of my kind may be charged. If that settles matters for the time being, would you like a diagnosis? Open your mind to me. Let us see what lurks within.
As Omeluon's mind pierces yours, the tadpole pulses with power. It feels 10 times its size. Alive, awake, almost smug.
This is most unusual. The incubation period should be complete, as should your transformation. But the larva is infused with strange magic. It appears to be in some form of stasis. I can only theorize, but I suspect your transformation would be both agonizing and instantaneous.
I thought it was always agonizing, Omelium.
Well, yes, but that wasn't my point. Of course, but...
Oh, perhaps I should start taking notes.
There may be a way to bypass that stasis. There are many alchemical substances that can influence the mind. A tincture distilled from a collection of rare mushrooms. They have subtle psionic influence. I would require A fresh tongue of madness, but be warned. In their natural state, Timusks cause confusion in those that approach them. The tongue is self-explanatory. Understandable. I have never seen anything like it. Is my species evolved?
Deep. And still fresh. Monster did this.
Soldier.
Can't give up. Not now.
Slow down.
Yes. Do keep your eyes Shadowheart. Zhentarim slice your neck. We may never know
Hell,
who's to blame.
we're attracting too much attention. Cutting to the chase. Sharp, deep, and still fresh. Some monster did this, marking its territory.
Poor fucker.
Shame to lose you forever.
Do keep your wits, Shadowheart.
one's stopped me yet. On my way.
I wonder what the next move is.
Open up.
Sharp, deep, and still fresh. Some monster did this, marking its territory. Need to find a way forward.
Stop! Stop!
You recognize the name. Bibberbang, a mushroom that releases dangerous spores. Highly flammable.
Please, you help. Scroll. Escape. My bag, please. I've dropped it somewhere. Thank you. Thank you. No, bad idea.